SVG wins in dominating fashion to no one's surprise, but is this what NASCAR needed right now? Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, SVG gets win number 5, and he did it in dominating fashion at Watkins Glen, making up for last year when he sort of gave this race away. He didn't give it away this time. In fact, at the end, he said he left a few meters on that wall that he hit last time, and it was academic. He could have hit that wall anyway and still would have won this one because he won it by over 7 or 8 or 6 or 7 seconds. It was a dominating performance, to be sure. And before we get into whether this was a good thing or a bad thing for NASCAR, let's give credit where credit is due to SVG, who is on a whole nother level on road courses right now compared to the rest of the competitors. And with this win, he passes current driver Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and moves up to the ranks of other drivers with 5 wins, including Ward Burton, Austin Dillon, Dan Gurney, Alan Kulwicki, Tiny Lund, Dave Marcus, Jeremy Mayfield, and Ralph Moody. Which, without question, tons of Hall of Famers already on that list. But, more interestingly, it puts him 1 win behind tying the man who won this race last year, Chris Buescher, and also 1 race from tying his teammate, Ross Chastain, in that 1 car for all-time wins on the NASCAR wins list. 4 wins this season for SVG. Totally insane start to a NASCAR career. Yes, it has all been on road courses. It also sort of puts him in rarefied air because he has 4 straight road course race wins. Can he get to that record that Jeff Gordon holds of 6 straight road course wins in a row? But because this win was so dominant, and don't get me wrong, doing burnouts before the other guy, even the second place guy, even crossed the start finish line, which we'll get to that top 10 in a minute as well as the playoff points here before we jump into the next thing. Was this what NASCAR needed right now? I don't think it was. I don't think NASCAR needed another dominating performance because all of the talk, all of last week was all about the car sucks, it doesn't put on competitive races, and the point system sucks. So literally for the last 2 or 3 races, maybe even for the last month or some change, and if you want to really press it with fans, for the last few years since they've gone to this playoff system and since they've gone to this next-gen car, the negative overall press, from the fans at least, has been just getting louder and louder and louder. And so NASCAR is kind of just sitting on this powder keg, and at some point it's either going to be, they're going to have to put out the fuse or the powder keg is going to explode. And I don't think this race right here is going to do anything to put out the fuse that has been lit. But that's a conversation for another day, for another video. Right now, I want to give all due respect to SVG, who absolutely dominated this race. It was completely academic. Nobody was honestly even close. I know he didn't win stages, but he was on a totally different strategy. He was on a totally different game plan. And he never strayed away from that game plan, and he won this race pretty convincingly here at the end. Here is the playoffs as it stands right now. With 4 wins apiece, Denny Hamlin and Shane VanGisbergen would lead the playoff points if it started today. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson with 3 wins apiece, 2 wins for William Byron. And with 1 win apiece, you got Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, and Josh Berry. First man who is now locked in, I would say, on points is Tyler Reddick. Then you got Bowman and Buescher battling out there on the cut line. And below the cut line, Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, and A.J. Allmendinger. But, of course, it could be anybody below that cut line to pull off the upset victory to shake up the playoffs for those last 2 guys who are currently in right now. All right, SVG won, but let's take a look at the rest of the top 10 to see who had a good race. SVG with the win here. Christopher Bell in second place. Chris Buescher in third place after winning last year was able to lengthen his point lead at the cut line. As long as nobody else wins, that will be significant. Did get a stage win as well. William Byron here in fourth place. Chase Briscoe in fifth, continuing his strong month so far in the 19 car. Ryan Blaney here in 6th place, also won a stage. Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace, another good run for Bubba Wallace at a road course. You don't see that too often. His teammate Tyler Reddick right behind him, and Ross Chastain in 10th place. And the reason Ross Chastain is significant there, exact same car, exact same strategy, and he was 10 spots behind his teammate when all things shook out there at the end. So, of course, SVG, whatever he's doing to save tires or whatever, it's just working so much better than whatever these other guys are doing. Obviously, right? Like, no duh. AJ Allmendinger in 11th. Eric Jones rallying to a 12th place finish. Had some trouble early on, was off course, but does rally to get that 12th. Ryan Preece in 13th. Joey Logano 14th. And Austin Dillon in 15th. Not necessarily known as a road course racer, but there you go. Got it done in 15th today. Now let's go to bad race. Brad Keselowski here in 31st place. He had really good speed. Didn't get the finish that he wanted today. And then at the bottom there, Kyle Larson finished 39th. That really is going to hurt him in the regular season points, of which we'll look at in just a minute. But of course, the worst race overall is for NASCAR, because they needed a close competitive race, or they need a really good race pretty soon to justify them not fixing the next-gen car, to justify them not fixing the point system, and all kinds of other stuff. So bad race overall for NASCAR as well, if we're just being real about it. And here is your regular season points. Minus 42 now is Chase Elliott to William Byron. So basically, as long as Byron doesn't put a wheel wrong, he should win the regular season. But anything can happen, especially with the races we've got coming up. Nobody expected Austin Dillon to win Richmond. So those, he's not necessarily completely got it locked up, but he's pretty close here. Minus 81 to Denny Hamlin, Seabell 85, and Kyle Larson minus 85. Really hurt him. I would say that they're pretty much out of it. So we got kind of a two-man battle, and the other man is only in it, in my opinion, academically there. So we will see how it all plays out. But it looks like it's Hendrick on Hendrick there for the regular season. Bonus 15 points that come with that between Chase Elliott and William Byron there. All right, that's going to just about do it for this one. Sorry it wasn't more positive, but it is what it is. Great race for Shane VanGisbergen. His dad was there. A good side note to this, his dad was there. So imagine the pressure of your dad being there and having to win that too, and also the pressure of everybody literally trying to do everything in their power to beat you, throwing all these crazy strategies at you, and you were able to keep a cool head, stay on your strategy, and win the race while your dad was there. A big win for him. He had been dealing with some health issues. Shane hadn't seen him since Christmas, is what they said on TV. So big win overall. So it wasn't like there was no pressure there for SVG to get the win. So glad he could enjoy the win with his dad as well. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you on this one. Thanks for hanging out. And until the next one, thanks for your time. Peace.